Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Joe Tyrrell and welcome back to GP Blog. One of the more bizarre sagas in Formula 1 has finally reached its conclusion, and Oscar Piastri will drive for McLaren in 2023 after Formula 1's contract recognition board sided in favour of the team from Woking. It means Alpine's search for another driver to partner Esteban Ocon goes on, with Pierre Gasly touted to be that man. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. All eyes are on Piastri. The pressure, the limelight, the focus, it's all on him. And this is only heightened following recent events. So the question we have to ask is, will he live up to expectations? Here's some reasons why he will, but also why he could fail at McLaren. So we'll start with the positives. He's clearly unbelievably talented, and we only have to look at his last 2 seasons in a full-time drive to see why. In 2020, his first season in Formula 3, he was victorious, and although he only won the title by 3 points, claimed it nonetheless. He replicated defeat in his first season in Formula 2, taking the Feeder Series crown by over 60 points, taking 6 wins along the way. Now, I'm far from an expert on the different Formula Series, but when I asked Adam, one of GP Blog's editors, why is this guy I've never heard of so highly rated, he just came back to me and said he's smashed it wherever he's been. Which leads me on to my next point, adaptation. It's clear jumping up the ranks is no problem for Piastri. To go from Formula 3 in 2020 straight into Formula 2 a year later and win them both, he's clearly really quick, regardless of adapting to a new setup. So McLaren will be hoping he brings that with him, especially as it's something Daniel Ricciardo has struggled with since arriving just last year. But this could be something that he also struggles with himself, and I'll highlight why in a moment. He's got a fresh start at McLaren. Things have clearly turned sour at Alpine, and he described his exit as a breakdown in trust. So in reality, was there ever a way back? He never really felt loved at Alpine, and them jumping the gun on the announcement made things worse. So he's arriving at McLaren, a team who are invested in him and his talent, and if they get a firing Piastri, well, McLaren could be a force to be reckoned with. Right, positives out the way, let's have a look at the negatives and why he could fail at McLaren. You know how I said his ability to adapt makes him a big asset for McLaren? Well, could this work the other way? Daniel Ricciardo is a very good driver, let's not get it wrong, but he's really struggled to adapt since arriving at McLaren. For Piastri, going into the team, who has struggled at times with their setup themselves, and he's going into the top tier of motorsport on the back of a season out of the sport, he's going into a whole new environment. That's a huge step up, and he could struggle to adapt to a team who have struggled to adapt themselves. He's going to be up against Lando Norris, one of F1's next generation, and someone who is already established as a top driver in the sport. So who's going to be number 1? Well, Norris is, right? You'd have thought anyway, but Piastri arrives with a lot of expectation and is already a Formula 2 champion, something that Norris isn't. We've seen this year with McLaren moving to prioritise Norris over Ricciardo. Could that hinder Piastri's performances? The car is clearly unpredictable, and if it's so tuned to Norris's liking, then Piastri might not get on with it himself. Finally, what if McLaren aren't any good? If their performances don't improve and Piastri is handed a bum car which is just scraping by in the midfield? Fernando Alonso suffered similar struggle for years. Meanwhile, Alpine are up the road continuing to build on this season's results. Suddenly, his decision to force a move seems a bit daft. Of course, these are all massive ifs and hypotheticals, but it will be interesting to see whether Oscar Piastri thrives or dives in a new environment. Well, what do you reckon? Piastri, success or flop? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and do all that wonderful stuff. You know the deal. But from me, I'll catch you next time.